Now we will begin reading Court Rejects New York City's Portion Cap for Sugary Drinks. Remember that the goal of an argumentative text is to get you on their side, to convince you, and also to state whether they are for or against the topic. So our goal for reading this text is to be able to determine whether this author, Dr. Lisa Firestone, is for or against New York City's portion cap for sugary drinks. I'm going to look for keywords that show the author's claim, and I'm also going to notate it on my 2-column notes, which is located under your assignment for today. Remember, you may not use my information, but you may use this as a reference while you complete your own. So I'm going to get you guys started. In order to write on this document, you must double click on the drawing. It may look like a table on yours, but it looks like a drawing on mine. I'm going to delete these 3 items so I can start over new with you guys. On the left side, you see the author's claim and evidence, and on the right is your thoughts about the author's claim. So if I see that the author is for the portion cap on sugary drinks, I want to be able to list some evidence that I see on the left side of my 2-column notes. On the right side, I'm going to list what my thoughts are about the author's claim. I don't think there should be a portion cap. So whatever I write on the left side, I want to make sure that I also put my own thoughts on the right. So I'm able to see what the author's claim is and their thoughts and evidence, and then what are my thoughts? Are they different or are they kind of the same on the right side? Okay, so this is one way how they're going to track your reading. So we want to make sure that since we're moving from paper tests to digital tests, I want to give you guys some resources that you guys can use when you are taking a test that's online. So if you are in person and you're taking a test that's online, you may have a section that allows for you to take notes. You can utilize that space to make a 2-column notes, or if you have paper while you're taking a digital test, you can one second. Trying to make sure my speaker's on. You can divide your paper in half, put a line in the middle, put the author's claim on the left side and evidence, and then on the right you can put my thoughts about the author's claim. Okay, so I'm going to save this. And remember, while we are working through this text, we are looking for the author's claim and evidence. And then once we get to the end, we're going to work on comparing and contrasting this with our text from last week. Putting good deeds in headlines may not be so good. Actually, for the past 2 weeks, we've been reading that. All right, here we go. Remember, before I actually read, I want to make a prediction. We have already pulled out some keywords that are unfamiliar to us. And you guys hear me say those words, so you'll see how they sound once I start reading the text for today. So I said, I predict that this text will be about New York City proposing a portion cap for sugary drinks, but the court denies it. I know that it denies it because another word for denies is rejects. The key word for me is rejects. Give you guys a few minutes. Again, go ahead and put your prediction close to your title. And also add my evidence. I know this because of the key words in the title. I also want to make sure that I access my background knowledge. So if I don't know anything about this case, this court case, I want to look at this gray paragraph that gives me background. And you may pause this video at any time if you need to. In 2014, Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York, designed a proposal known as the soda ban that would put limits on the size of sugary drinks that people could buy. The proposal was favored among health advocates, including the Board of Health, who argued that sugary drinks were linked to rising obesity rates and healthcare costs. In this opinion piece, keyword, Dr. Lisa Firestone, Director of Research and Education at the Glendon Association, explains why she believes the New York State Court of Appeals ultimately made the wrong decision in blocking Bloomberg's soda ban. As you read, take notes on how people on both sides of the argument support their positions. Paragraph 1. New York City lost its final appeal to limit the sale of sugary drinks larger than 16 ounces. In a 20-page report, the New York State Court of Appeals issued its final decision on the portion cap ruling. Justice Piggott wrote, "We hold that New York City's Board of Health is adopting the sugary drinks portion cap rule, exceeds the scope of its regulatory authority. By choosing among competing policy goals without any legislative delegation or guidance, the board engaged in lawmaking and thus infringed upon the legislative jurisdiction of the City Council of New York. The portion cap ruling, known as a soda ban, was to restrict the sale of sugary drinks larger than 16 ounces in restaurants, movie theaters, sports arenas, and delis. The decision is disappointing and a defeat to public health advocates, urging the government to curb the sale of oversized sugary drinks thought to be a major contributor to America's obesity crisis." I'm going to pause and just say, so far, the portion cap ruling is also known as a soda ban. So I want to make sure that I'm tracking my reading and make sure I'm understanding what's going on, so I'm comprehending. The portion cap is also known as a soda ban. Then I want to track my thoughts. How do I think about that? And you can make your own thoughts. Don't copy mine. Think that there shouldn't be a soda ban, but there should be a limit. Save and close. The sale of oversized sugary drinks are thought to be a major contributor to America's obesity crisis. So what I'm hearing the author say is she thinks the sale of oversized sugary drinks could contribute or increase America's obesity crisis. could possibly be contributing to the obesity crisis in America. I'm also going to put my thoughts. Hearing this evidence, I now think that there should be a major limit to the amount of soda one person is able to purchase at a, remember they talked about delis and restaurants, and also delis, restaurants, and movie theaters and sports arenas. So I'm going right back to the text. So it's a purchase at a movie theater, sports arena, or deli. Save and close. I'm going to keep reading. Dr. Mary Bassett, the Commissioner of Health for the city, issued the following statement. Today's ruling does not change the fact that sugary drink consumption is a key driver of the obesity epidemic, and we will continue, to look for ways to stem the twin epidemics of obesity and type 2 diabetes by seeking to limit the pernicious effects of aggressive and predatory marketing of sugary drinks and unhealthy foods. So it doesn't just cause obesity, it also causes type 2 diabetes, possibly. Mayor Bill de Blasio also expressed his disappointment in the court's decision. As written in Capital New York, we are extremely, so these are someone else's thoughts. It's from the mayor, Mayor Bill de Blasio. So I want to make sure while I'm reading that I'm always able to differentiate. This is not the author's opinion. This is someone else's opinion. So we're going to keep their opinion separate from what the author's opinion is. We are extremely disappointed by today's court decision that prevents the city from implementing a sugary drink portion cap policy, de Blasio said in the press release. The negative effects of sugary drinks overconsumption on New Yorkers' health, particularly among low-income families, are irrefutable. Like, you cannot fight this. That's what he's saying. As a nutritionist and portion size advocate, I too, keyword I, so this is the author, I too was disappointed with the court's decision. I want to make sure I track that. What was the decision? The author was disappointed in the court's decision. Now I'm going to say, why was she disappointed? Now I'm going to pause the video, and then we'll continue to make notes on our 2-column notes.